Alright, so then I added my young girl here. I want to keep her, actually would like to keep her kind of big because this is going to be starting to move into my foreground. So remember, your foreground person needs to be bigger than your background. So I'm actually going to go back to my scale, click on my lovely girl here, and just make her a little bit bigger and see if I can. Boom, maybe that will help. I'm gonna come back up to my tool here, click scale or hit enter. All right, so now I have her. We do have these little edges here that I don't like. There's two things you can do. You can change the opacity here and make her a little bit more see-through, or now we need to be a little bit more picky with our tools. So what I would like you guys to do is, if you have a mouse, great. If not, then this is the part that gets a little bit tricky. So over in the toolbox, we also have what we like to call the blur tool and the smudge tool. The blur tool is what celebrities use to blur out all of those imperfections that we don't like. So I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to hit plus so that I can zoom in here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to blur out these edges. So if I change my view, if I zoom in, let me zoom in, let's go 400. Okay, so here is the image, and here's that white part that I'm talking. Again, I'm using that blur tool. It's down here. I'm going to blur her out. So as you can see here, I'm just going to blur her out. I can change. If you open up, you can change your strength of the blur tool. You can also hit the shift button and the U button, and it changes it to sharpen. That could be an option. However, I am just not liking this. I feel like the white just added it wrong. I think I need to go back and fix it. You can also choose to use the smudge tool, which kind of brings it out that way. And how can I change that? Using your brush here, and it'll be give it this little bit more of a circular brush. That could be an option for you if you want to do something like that. However, I actually don't like the smudge tool. I don't like what I've done so far. I think the white is just too much. So I'm going to go back to my thing, and I'm actually going to click on the eraser tool, and I can erase that white edge here. Okay, it's just like a pencil. It will not show up on my, it will not show up on the other tools. So whatever I'm erasing is literally just on my girl here. So again, you can, if you don't like something that you've cut and you want to erase it, you want to, it's too much, or, if you added too much of the background, you can use the eraser tool as well. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go back to view, and let's zoom out and see here what it looks like. Looks good from far away. But let's go ahead. I want to zoom back in. Let's go back to 100 to see. Yeah, that's way better. And I'm actually going to kind of erase some of this over here. And there we go. So now I have my young girl here. She's reading a story. We have this, waves in the nighttime with fish and galaxies, this wonder. Now, what we can also do is add my very last gentleman here, my fish, that I think is going to be also a main subject in my foreground. So I'm going to do that by using my fuzzy select tool, because again, that's a lot to select. And I'm going to click and drag over the orange parts that I want. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to just hit Control X, come back, hit Control V. There he is. I'm going to move him over here. he will still be there even though you don't see him. The only reason why you don't see him is because